Hey everybody, what's going on? Julie Murphy here, and I have spent the last 25 plus years being a financial planner, and I've learned a few things along the way that I would like to help you get to a new place and a new reality based on a life that you really want to love. I need you to hit that subscribe button, like, and notification bell. Why? Because there are all these tips and tools that I want to share with you as I'm coming into the awareness how many people are not living a life that they absolutely love. And so today I'm going to share with you 3 tips in how to get past your financial fears. And actually, it's really about creating a safe container for you financially. Why? How are we putting safe container and finances like into the same bucket? Well, I've come to learn that all the issues surrounding money is because we don't feel safe. Because somehow your nervous system gets hijacked. And if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see that I talk about the fact that we hijack our nervous systems from our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is fully developed by the time we're 7 years old. And there's all kinds of research on there with Dr. Bruce Lipton. He talks all about it. And it's about how do we practically now apply these things. So it's one thing to know it, it's another thing, and what in the heck do we do about it? And that's the big difference with me being a financial planner, because there's a lot of people that are out there that talk about money and finance, but they're not actually on the ground actually like helping people like implement their financial game plan. Like, what accounts do you set up and how do you do these things? And there's your financial offense, there's your financial defense. And that's why these 3 tips that I'm going to share with you are going to help you get to more of a place of safety, whether you're doing investment management or you're doing risk management, which is the insurance side of the equation of your financial world. And so financial safety is all about keeping your nervous system in a state of neutrality, which means that you actually have to bring you along with the ride, meaning you can't leave your heart on the sidelines anymore in your financial decision making process, because it's not necessarily always about rate of return. It's not necessarily always about like trying to hit this goal. It's, we have to take into account of how do you be happy today based on your reality, and how do you actually honor the fact that there might be more than one objective. It may not just be to keep plugging and chugging and goal orientated. It might be about the fact that you want to do what creates the best health for you or the health for your family. So here I'm going to share these 3 tips. So the first tip I have, I need you to release. We have to create space in our world. We have way too much going on. So we need to simplify. And what do I mean by that financially? So you might have, yours may show up in the fact that you have too much stuff in your house. I think of hoarders, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be uh, packed with crap in your house. It could just be the fact that you've just got all this, a lot of things. And you can't really create the new if you're jammed up with all your past around you. And so maybe you need to release physical things out of your living space. Maybe you need to actually start doing some breath work or yoga, because you need to emotionally start to create some space. And keep in mind that even if it's physical material stuff that you need to create space on, that also represents emotions that you are not processing. And this is why when I talk about this in my book, The Emotion Behind Money, we all have emotion behind money. And you can go to juliemurphy.com, and I've got it right on there. Sign up for my email list, because I'm going to be doing some work and some coaching with groups to help people get through their emotion behind money. So if you go on juliemurphy.com, I'll be able to then let you know when those are starting up here in the next month. So I really want us to create this safe container, but we have to process through the emotions of the things that go on in our life and not stuff them down, not stuff them inside of the physical things in our house and being a hoarder. Or maybe you have physical stuff in your body. You're not breathing deeply and you need to create space in your nervous system by just taking a deep breath. And financial space, right? How else do we release? I always talk about the fact that I want you to look at money in 3 different ways. And you've never looked at money this way before. But the reason I want you to look at money from this perspective is because it creates this safe financial container for you to grow and to expand. And that's looking at your money from there's your financial past, which are your debts. Then there's your money in the present moment, which is your cash flows. It's the money deposited in your checking account and the money going out for expenses. And then there's your financial future, which are the assets that you've built. And so when we need to release, I'm sitting there saying, release the debt, release the past. Because when we can release these things, we create this lightness and we create this space in our physical bodies, in our financial realms, or in our physical worlds. And that helps us then get to a safer container to expand into more of the life that you want to live. All right. Tip number 2. Are you ready? Tip number 2 is, oh, there's so many of you like this out there. And credit cards, credit cards, credit cards. What do I have to say about credit cards? Credit cards keep you into a life that is the opposite of freedom. Now, you logistically could sit here and tell me, well, Jewel, I get these points and I use the points, blah, blah. If you at all keep a running balance on credit cards, you don't know how to hold money in abundance. People will argue with me about this point. So I want you to love yourself enough to do a test. Are you ready? Here's the test. I want you to go get, I actually even have one right here right now. I want you, my cute little Kate Spade that I absolutely love the polka dots on. I want you to actually go get this $100 bill. Okay. I want you to go get a $100 bill. And I don't care if you have a 20 doesn't work. I want you to bang for your buck. So take this $100 bill. Okay. What I want you to do is that I want you to put it in your wallet and under no circumstances spend it. People say to me, well, why would I do that? Well, here's why I want you to do that. Because Benjamin Franklin, and I don't care if it's American money that you have or Canadian dollars or, euros. I don't really care what it is that you have. Take the equivalent of a big bill. Like, don't get hung up on the currency, right? This is this crap that we do to ourselves. We get hung up the currency. Take the big bill, put it in your wallet, and do not spend it. Why? Because I've had people tell me over and over and over again, and this is going to sound silly, and this is why this is tip number 2. I need you to start to actually keep cash in your wallet so that you can create a relationship with money. Because when we slide a credit card, it does not land in our systems. We will buy something on credit that we would never hand over 5 of these puppies for. I see it all the time. All the time. Why? There's something about the physical touch. There's something about when you have this money and you hand it over, you think twice. You absolutely think twice. We do not do that with credit cards. And so it's keeping you on the treadmill of life. It's keeping you in the rat race of life. It's keeping you from a place of empowerment. And it's keeping you from a place of freedom. So take that $100 bill, stick it in your wallet, and under no circumstances, spend it. Don't spend it. Do not spend it. And I guarantee you, whoever the face is on your bill that you have, this is Benjamin Franklin for me. It's almost as if Benjamin's going to start talking to you. I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to get all these. What's going to do is it's going to emotionally trigger you inside. It's going to be like, it's going to like trigger you. The longer you keep it in there, the more it's going to trigger you. Why? because that is now shining the light where you have emotions stored in your system and you just need to feel the feelings that are actually inside your system, as opposed to acting out your emotions by going and spending the $100 bill to get emotionally satisfied. So that way you actually, then it's a short-term fix, but then you don't hold money in abundance and you start sliding your credit card again. You take on more debt, car debt, house debt, student loan debt. You pick it. You take on debt. So I'm telling you, $100 bill in your wallet, you will start to create more of a safe container for yourself, because you're starting to understand abundance of money. And even if you want to take it one step further, what I want you to do is start to decide, I'm going to spend X amount of money on things. And if you don't, I've had some people, because they don't want to carry cash, which part of the whole thing here is that I want you to start to feel comfortable having money in abundance and cash. But now, even post pandemic, companies are like, we don't take cash, we only take credit. Okay, well then have a separate, different account set up, because I think that's just somebody else controlling your life. Have a separate, different account that is not tied to anything else except the cash you spend. And you have a debit card. And when the cash is gone, the debit card's gone. Or go to the ATM machine and pull out 300 of these puppies, or whatever your amount is that you've decided to spend on groceries, gas, whatever it is that is your variable spend for the week or the month or the every 2 weeks in between paychecks. I guarantee you are not going to spend this much money. Is that if you slid a credit card? I guarantee it. And what does that do? These exercises then allow you to actually hold a safer container for yourself financially. Hence, that's tip number 2. All right. Ready for tip number 3? Number 3, it's all about insulation, financial insulation. You might be going, Julie, what are you talking about? Well, just wait, because my next video is on financial foreplay. That one's going to be super fun. We have to start having financial fun time. I am so sick and tired of us not having fun with our money. That's why I'm going to put here awakenyourwealthbook.com. That is my second book that I have. And this is the roadmap that I actually walk every client through to get to a life that you love, and tips and tools all throughout it and how to do it. And I have a corresponding workbook to go with it as well, and an online course if you wanted to. But I am giving you my book away for free so that you can actually just pay for the shipping, and I pay for the printing. And so we collaborate on it for you to financially shift whatever it is that you'd like to shift in your life. Now, why would tip number 3 be insulating yourself? Jewel, what am I talking about? Here's what I'm talking about here. I meet people all the time and they tell me, I'm not putting any money in those accounts because they don't make any rate of return in savings accounts right now. You got all these different banks at 0.01, 0.02, 0.05. Like, you're not making any interest. Why? Because interest rates are low. And we've been sitting on a pretty much a 20-year period of time where interest rates have been pretty low. All in all, they've been pretty low. And here's the challenge. We haven't valued those savings accounts because we've judged them for their rate of return. Remember me talking about the fact that there might be a different purpose for things? I want you to think outside of the box. The only intention of that savings account may not actually be high rate of return. Could be, but it may not be. When I talk about insulating yourself, it's about the fact that if you look at what are your risks, what puts you into fear, which actually keeps you outside of your safety container financially? Well, you lose your job. Somebody becomes sick in your household. A pandemic, like who knew, right? Just pick it, right? There could be multiple things, a job change, a job transfer, a new baby. Like, things can put you in a place of fear of like, how am I going to provide for that new kid and the new house and yada, 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 whatever your story is. Well, you insulate yourself because I want you to really embody this concept I call becoming your own bank. And what do I mean by becoming your own bank? It's about the fact that you don't have to then depend on a bank for your freedom. You're actually creating your freedom all by yourself. And how we do this is that, let me give you an example. If the average recession, which means that the stock market goes down pretty tightly and people lose jobs and um, things get scary for people, if the average downturn to get back to break even is 2.5 years, do you have that 2.5 years saved somewhere outside of retirement accounts that you can tap today to still live your life if something were to happen in that kind of a worst case scenario? The worst, or the longest, 2008, it took 4 years for us to recover, depending on how aggressive or conservative you are, which I have risk questionnaires that you can fill out. Go to juliemurphy.com, and I have some risk questionnaires to see where your emotional brain is on these kind of things. And it's a customized solution where you may actually want to have not 6 months in savings, but maybe 9 months. Maybe you want 24 months. Maybe you want the 2.5 years. Maybe you want the 4 years. And how do you build that infrastructure? Well, these are all the questions to ask yourself to insulate yourself. This gives you the insulation so that whatever is going on outside of your world, corporate downsizing, economic downturns, whatever, you insulated yourself. I started to notice when people finally get to a place where they have enough money to retire, their communication changes quite a bit with their current employer because you're no longer an underdog. You're actually stepping fully in your power because you've become your own bank and you don't need an employer to give you money anymore. You don't have to have that exchange. This is your insulation. And so I started thinking, why is it that we don't create this safety container all along the road? We can. So those are things that I want you to think about. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button, like and notification bell, and please share this with everyone that you love. Why? Because it's time for all of us to live a life that we absolutely love. And it's really important that we start financially healing around the world. It's time for us to take our power back. It's time for us to step into our financial worlds from a pure place of empowerment. No more scarcity, no more lack of freedom. It's time for extreme amounts of freedom and be fully empowered. So I'm here to help. So do me a favor, just share and hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. And go to juliemurphy.com because I am going to be doing group coaching so that I can help you guys all the time. I had a blast. I just did it with 444 people. And boy, did we rock and roll. It was so much fun. And I'm doing it in a cost-effective method so that it doesn't actually cost people an arm and a leg, but yet you can get the expertise for somebody that's actually on the ground working in the financial services industry. So we can get you to a life that you love. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.